Well, I only have one question. You know what it is. Tell me about the, about 45,000 or 50 salary, other contributions, I'm sorry.
Yes, they have this too. They have this too.
They've got, I gave them spreadsheets that I plugged those numbers into.
Oh, okay, okay. Do you,
Yeah.
okay, so that's, yeah, that's the current contribution and then those
Right.
different, amounts there.
You want me to make copies?
I'm sorry, yeah, I just
Yeah, let
brought
me
one
make
copy.
copies.
We need to get you a copier in here.
I know.
Yeah.
I need to get some more steps in. Get my steps in for a second. While she's there, I gotta say, I think y'all do the funnest programs. All kinds of things. I wish I had more time to go.
I know, some other time seeing something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's something coming up too. I think it's a Thursday night, maybe in October though.
PGI program
What's that?
about paranormal stuff.
No, I'm not so into that. There's another one. I have a lot of friends that are, y'all go figure out all that stuff.
That's
I'm gonna stay with
always-
this side.
That is, so when we have those programs,
Uh-huh.
it's always the most interesting crowd.
I bet.
It pulls in quite the variety. Because there's this great organization, I think they're out of Cherokee County, PGI, and they come and do these great programs for us. And it pulls in quite the variety of expertise and guests.
That's this week? That's this week?
No, it's in October.
Oh, yeah,
It's
'cause
about a month, it's about a month now.
I had actually saw one and I clicked on it on Facebook and I was wanting to go to the unexplained event.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a breakdown of the amount. Is that adding up to what you have on your sheet there?
Well, I have some things added into
Okay.
that is like, I think on the back of yours, is that a copy of?
Oh, yes. Okay,
Let me see
yeah.
if those numbers match.
Okay.
Actually, it does match what you've got down here for the other contributions.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
I've got a couple of things added in, you know, for like utilities and stuff.
right,
like
because
that.
those are kind of things that, you know, we don't have a lot of control over, but yeah, this one is okay, so, there's the increase to fund regional fee increase. The regional fees had not increased in many, many years, and so the regional board, when they did their budget last year, decided to combine everything that is done for all the libraries in one pot and then divide it by population. Which we had done that in the past, but not quite in the same way. It was more or less we were reimbursing Cherokee. So everything was in Cherokee's fund and then we took things out that were done for everybody and then, you know, divvied it, reimbursed Cherokee. Well, now, there are 4 different pots. There's the Cherokee, Pickens, and Gilmer individual budgets, and then there's a regional budget, and then each county pays into the regional budget. So, you know, that when we did that, that's what we came up with, and we had the library board ask, you know, is that what other library systems do? And I did talk to some others, and for instance, one next to us is Chestatee, and their counties are Dawson and Lumpkin, and their regional fees were actually more than ours. So, I mean, theirs were, of course, I don't think we have let's see, the total that, sorry for the markings, we got some of these were some we had at the board meeting. The percentages of the population were, the figures are right, but we have those labeled wrong if y'all want to see those. That's how we came up with the regional fees. I just have this big file folder here left over from the meetings in the spring.
Yeah, I think they are.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's just kind of showing, oh, that's the statistics, no, that's the statistics, y'all have the one that shows the statistics or the, okay, sorry. Y'all haven't already discussed this, have you? Have y'all discussed it? Okay. Well, I just grabbed my folder. I'm sorry, I may not have the right thing in here. I was wanting to show you the whole amount.
Do you need to look at that?
Let's see. Yeah, that's not the one I thought I had, I'm sorry. Regional services. Okay, so the fees have been, for Pickens and Gilmer, the fees have been $39,000 since 2010. And that's the last time they were really reviewed. Well, they've been kind of reviewed just cursorily, just to make sure we didn't see any big, but this was the first time we really separated out each thing. So I apologize. I thought that was all in this folder. But I can get that to you if you want it. So the 39,000, I think the total was like 70-something thousand. But the shortfall in the budget, when we worked out the Gilmer budget, we needed 21,000 extra to fund the regional fee increase. And then the pay plan, that is something we're,
Before we go to the
oh yeah,
pay
I'm
plan.
sorry.
I'll make sure that I'm seeing this one. So, the regional fee last year was 39,000, and the proposed regional fee this year, and I presume going forward, is 60,000.
Yeah, I think we were able to absorb some of it in the regular budget because some of the things we put in the regional budget were, had been being paid out of the local budget. So I think the total was around 70-something thousand. I will get that to you. I'll get that to you. In fact, I may can get Julie to send it while we're here. But yeah, what we did was we took that whole amount and let's say it was, I'm just gonna throw out if it was 75,000. Some of it we were able to just shift things that were being paid out of the local budgets because they were really regional into the regional budget. And then just put everything in there, like for instance, your supplement. Because Heath is a regional employee, that was part of that, and his supplement was coming out of local, so now all that's in regional, and maybe your travel too, all that's in regional. What else? So it, then we did our budget, and then what we needed left over that we needed to cover everything was the 21,000. But I've got a spreadsheet, and I apologize, I thought that's what I had in here, but it was not. That was a different sheet. That sheet I gave you was where the Gilmer County Board was interested in knowing, like, some of the statistics that showed the percentages of what was spent on each county. So, I'll get that.
So, there have been a number of things that have shifted from local into regional, which makes up a good part of this increase. But I don't see on here, on any of the local items, where there's been a decrease because something was shifted out of them. Would it not?
We did this back in February, I'm sorry. Well, April is when we approved it. I'll have to get that to you. I can get all of that to you, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you say that some of the things that had been paid locally were shifted to the regional
Mhm.
in an effort to
Well, we were just trying to go
offset
through.
some of those?
Well, not really. We did that across the board just to make sure we were keeping regional things regional and local things local, just to make sure we were
Make it
separating
more-
out.
So we had been paying
Yeah.
things out of local.
There were some increases local, but I don't remember exactly now what they were.
But also did mention too that what came out of this when they moved everything into a regional budget and from the previous model, which was basically repaying Cherokee County, it came out that actually Cherokee County was paying more than their fair share.
But I'm good with
I know, I understand.
that. Okay. Thank you.
So some of the things that also come, that are squeezed out of these fees are IT salaries, payroll salaries, book processing. Those are the kind of, and primarily, it mostly is salaries, but there is sort of other miscellaneous stuff like travel. Can't think of what else, but it's primarily salaries. So it is services that, the reason fees do go to services and salaries that would have to be paid in some other ways if it weren't being handled at an administrative level.
It seems to me that what we're looking at here is, in terms of this regional fee increase, is essentially the regional is saying, here's what it is, there you go. So if we were to say, no, we don't agree with that, and we're not gonna approve that much, what would be the result in terms of the region?
Well, I will point out, the Gilmer and Pickens board members and Cherokee all are members of the regional board. So there was representation from all counties. If one, that's hypothetical, but
It is.
just based on what I know, what I've heard in the past, probably what would happen is the others would say, well, you can't be part of the region anymore, which would cost a lot more.
And that's what I'm trying to
Yeah.
determine, is essentially just exactly how optional is this, and it seems like it's not.
To be eligible for state funding, you have to have a minimum, which, it would be way more than this. But it is something that all counties, we took this to all the boards, the local boards, and then, after the regional board had met, which has representation from all the counties. So, yeah. I'm sorry, I just grabbed my file and I thought that was in here, and I'll look at it, see
You have the gist. You have the gist.
the gist of it, yeah. So, you want me to go on about the pay plan?
Yes, please.
Okay, we included everything because this is something we are working toward. It's probably gonna take us some time, but, as a region, we are trying to increase our minimum pay from $8.49 or $8.50, I think it is here, to $10 an hour. This conversation really got going with the Cherokee County manager first. Their budget starts in October, where Gilmer and Pickens starts in January, so we start those conversations a little earlier in Cherokee, and we talked to the county manager about our concerns, and we're having a lot of turnover, and there's a lot of turnover here too. There's a lot of turnover over the system, and we're asking staff to do more and more. And so one of the things that people mention is the low pay. And now that the economy's kind of picking up, people are having a lot of other options for places to work. So anyway, we did a pay plan. The county manager in Cherokee County asked us to do a pay study because that's what they were doing there, and they were trying to do something similar. So we did, and looked at what similar systems were paying, and we were well below that. So we proposed to them an amount in our budget request to them, and they have appropriated in their budget that will start October 1st in Cherokee County, $200,000, which will enable us to get up to $950. Well, it would have enabled us to get up to 10, but the cities, they're having some city funding problems down there. So, but we're at least gonna get it up to 950. Our goal was 10. So, I asked our finance manager to figure it out for what it would be for Gilmer and Pickens, because we really, even though it's hard to do it all at the same time, we really would like for all of our staff members in all three counties to have the same or similar, at least similar rates of pay. So that's what we're working toward. I know that it may or may not can happen this year, but I just felt like we need to get it on the table. And then the 3% COLA is what we usually ask for. Now, this pay increase is not gonna affect everybody, like some of the positions that the people who've already been there, they're already gonna be making more than that minimum. We're considering this to become a first step. Eventually, we want to have a pay scale for all the employees, no matter.
You said this was moving people making what up to what?
850 up to
10?
Yes.
Was the goal, but you may end up at 950.
We may end up at 950 in Cherokee right now. The cities and the cities of Woodstock and Canton are working out a service delivery strategy, which y'all probably know about those, but they're, the cities are not giving their funding right now, are not giving as much, so we weren't able, it affected our total budget, so we're probably gonna just be at 950 right now, but hopefully, when that's worked out, we can go on up to 10 maybe next year.
But there are people that are making more now. Not everybody, but there are people.
There-
Yeah,
just-
not a whole lot, you
Just
know,
a couple of long-term.
long-term employees who've gotten the
who-
COLAs over the years,
Yeah,
yeah.
who would be over that,
Okay.
outside of that range.
My question though is, are they making more because they're doing different functions or because they've been there longer?
Because they've been
Typically.
there longer, yeah.
Everybody typically would be on the same pay scale then, there's not.
Right, that's our goal is for the, yeah. they
Well, we
all
do
on the
have,
same
well, we
pay.
do have different jobs, such as, a service specialist, and we have a service associates, and then we have assistant branch manager.
Yeah.
So all of those fall into different ranges. Most of our staff is relatively new, basically everyone on staff except for myself and one other person would get a raise out of this pay scale fund. And, and it's about creating a competitive environment and getting people closer to what we're worth.
Okay, so we're not gonna be creating any compression issues, well, the raises would be at all levels.
Local, and that's the other thing about this, that's all local.
But it would be at all levels within the local structure?
Yes.
Okay, except for what you.
With the exception of one employee who's been employed for over 15, almost 18 years.
Yeah.
So she falls outside the range to the plus side, but then everybody else probably would experience an increase.
Well, I don't have any other questions.
I understand. And I appreciate you guys, I wish there was lots of money to give you.
We understand.
Do we own the books, or are they part of the library system? Does Gilmer County own the?
Yes, everything all the books in this library, in each county library, this one and Pickens and Gilmer are purchased by that particular county budget. So, either by local funds, donations, or state funds that are allocated for, and those are allocated by population, so that they would go for the county. But yes, that they are owned by the county, or by the library in that county.
Is there money in the budget for additional acquisitions? I didn't note it, is that?
Unfortunately, with the budget we have moving forward, no, because we are significantly short this year, because of the regional fee increase. So all of the purchases we make come via donations.
Yeah,
And
that's-
whether they be item donations or monetary donations, or some, well, that's not exactly true. So some money comes from state funds as well.
It's very, we worked at the state level to get it up to 35 cents per capita. I know the highest I ever remember it being in my 30 years is 60 cents per capita. And then over the years it went down, and then a few years ago when the economy went south and they redid some of the funding formulas at the state, book money just kind of went away, and we've been working slowly to get it back. The legislature approved 35 cents per capita this year, but now with the Kemp budget cut proposal, they may go back down to like 23 or 20, something like that. So that's state, local, and this is true here and in the other counties. We can't always find it in our local budgets. I mean, we do if we can, but we're primarily, when we come to the counties and some cities for the funds, we're looking at operations. So that's really what we're looking at, is the staff and running the building, keeping the doors open. That's what we're really looking for. Now, sometimes we have asked and included some book money, but it seems like it just, operations keeps, as y'all know, it goes up every year. So the Friends of the Library, I mean, if we didn't have them with the bookstore and private donations, we did have a lot of private donations, and occasionally a small grant or something. So that's really what provides our materials. Now Cherokee County has impact fees that can be used for some materials, not all, because it has to have a useful life and all of that, but I mean, so many years.
So the late fees go for what purpose?
Well, they go into the general budget, but we have to make sure all our expenses are paid, and then, if there's any left over for books, we can spend it on books.
And those fees constitute less than
Yeah.
1% of our overall budget. If they're next to nothing.
On the salaries, I didn't quite understand. In essence, the starting salary is gonna go up like 12%. The other people, are they gonna get a 12%?
Each position, and it's this, right now, we're looking at the positions as opposed to people, because it's not, but each position, like there's a service associate, a youth services, I forget the titles now, specialist, a public service specialist, and then circulation, that's service associate. We have full-time and
And
part-time.
then assistant branch manager.
Assistant and branch manager. So each of those is gonna be the minimum pay for, starting pay for those positions is gonna be bumped up. So if somebody right now is making lower than that, they would be bumped up. If they're, already making that or a little higher, but like he said, we don't have many of those. It's just people that have been here.
The percentage is variable depending on where someone's current salary is and what that range is for their position.
I'm not sure that I understood that as an answer, but I mean, if somebody has spent only getting their COLA increases and has been there 5 years and is finally at 10, and now you start people at 10 or 9.50, are they gonna get bumped up, or they worked 5 years to get to the starting salary?
Eventually, yes, but right now, no. I mean, we can't, if we ask for the amount we need.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah, if we ask for the amount we needed to get it in like we'd like for it to be,
It would be significantly
it
more.
would be a lot more. So we're looking at doing it in phases as we can. But that's the most critical right now is that we're starting now.
That's what I was interested in when I was asking if everybody was going to get a raise at the line.
We'd have to ask for more if we did that.
Well, yeah, I think in our branch situation, I think there's just one employee that would, outside of myself, that would not get a raise, because her salary is several $1,000s over that range.
Okay, but she's not then in
But
a
she would get a
situation-
COLA. She would be included in the COLA, but she would not get a pay scale.
But her current salary is not one such that this raise would put her essentially at starting pay, even though she's been here forever. Is that?
No, well, her current salary would be over the top number of the range. She is already over that range because of the tenure. But everybody else would get an increase up to at least what the minimum number on the pay scales for that position is set at.
So would we actually be leaving anybody in a situation where they've been here for a while and they got a little raise, but they're still at the starting level?
Not if the COLA was included, I don't think so. Because and correct me if I'm wrong, because Anita was more involved with this than I was, but they did not include like a yearly COLA or like an upcoming COLA into that range, into that bottom number of the range. So if you have a job, in other words, that the range is 20,000 to 25,000, they didn't say, okay, well, we're gonna add on another 3% to that for the upcoming year. It would still be 20 to 25,000. So that excludes like a COLA.
Anything else?
I get you those extra things.
I can print them off. Just email it to me.
The contribution number, is that our payment to Sequoia or?
Yes. And that's primarily salaries, and other services, that have to be paid. But it's primarily salaries.
Do they provide the software?
Usually that is a system-wide thing. I mean, software it depends on what it's for. Yeah, I mean, if it's for a computer that's just used at Gilmer, that would come probably out of Gilmer. But anything that all the libraries in the system are gonna do is considered regional.
Do you keep track of the money that comes from Friends of the Library? Like,
Oh, absolutely. They make a monthly contribution, and then on occasion they will make one-time contributions for specific things.
so is that, what kind of money is that? Like 10,000 or 2,000?
Closer to 20.
A year.
What's that normally used for?
Fine.
Primarily two things: materials purchases and the summer read challenge. So pay for materials, performers, programs, those sort of things. So those are their two main item things that they contribute.
Well, I don't have any other questions.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
And thanks for the great work.
Appreciate it. Let me know if you're coming on whatever that program is on that Thursday.
I will, look it up again. Yeah, I know do creepy.